That's it. The last chapter, 12th chapter, had some discussion, but I am hoping, that chapter also, towards the end, there is some discussion. So that also can be completed in one session. There is no elaborate commentaries like you have for Stuti and all that, like here we had. So that is the thing. So that way, I think we should be able to finish whatever is planned in this particular unit. Surely, what I expected then more than that, this particular chapter has taken time. I was hoping to finish this in 6.5 hours, that is 3 sessions. But I think it will be done today. So one session it has taken surely extra. But yeah, with the additional 3 more sessions, I am hoping to, I think we should be. We will surely finish 11th, and also I'll try my best to finish 12th. Okay. So we have been seeing these prayers, and in these prayers now we are coming to the last part where Brahmaji is now offering obeisances. So from verse 14 onwards, he began offering his obeisances. So first he offered obeisances to the Lord, who is manifesting as in his Bhagavan feature as well as Brahmajyoti, Shashvat Swarupa Mahasaiva Nipita Bhedaya, and as well as Bodha Dishanaya. So in both the features he is there. So that he offered the obeisances to that Lord. Then his holy names were offered obeisances, meaning one who has such potent holy names, which offer benediction even to those who chant with vivasha, with helplessness. So his holy names were offered obeisances unto. Then Gunavatara Karmani, how Lord is actually one like a tree who has expanded into main 3 branches of Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesha, Gunavataras. And then in turn there is further expansion in terms of Prajapatis, Marichi and all of them. So this way Gunavatar Karmani, Lord is being glorified as one who expands into Gunavatar and further expansion into all the living beings of the world. Or this can also refer to the aspect of Vishwarupa, where we saw the another meaning of Tripad and Urupraroha. Tripad and Urupraroha can also mean a Lord who is expanded by his material energy, of course, into 3 planetary systems, and then Urupraroha means in 14 planetary systems. So then that would refer to Lord's form in terms of Virat Roop, universal form. So that is also offered obeisances unto. Then in the verse 17, Brahmaji offered obeisances to Lord's Kala Rupa. After offering obeisances to other forms, features of Lord, he is offering obeisances to also Kala Rupa. He said that Kala, who is so powerful, that unless and until one takes to the Archanam of the Lord, worship of the Lord, that Kala will not allow one to even his desire to live will be, living entity's desire to will also be vanquished. Jivitasham, forget about other desires like pleasure of the senses and all that. Even Jivitasham chinatti, it was said. The time destroys even the desire to live. It doesn't allow beyond one's karma to live. So what to speak of then further desires? So that is the powerful time. So now in this verse 18, he again glorifies the limit of that power of that time in terms of Brahmaji himself also being fearful of time. Although he lives for such a long time, but still Brahma says, even I am fearful of time, meaning such is the power of time, because it destroys everything in this world. And that is your energy. So in that way, he is offering obeisances to Supreme Lord. So this is text 18 now. Yasmad bibhemyaham apidvi parardhadishnyam adhyasitah sakala loka namaskritam yat tepe tapo bahu savo varurut samana tasmai namo bhagavate adhimakhaya tubhyam.
Your Lordship, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are indefatigable time and the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Although I am situated in an abode which will continue to exist for a time duration of 2 parardhas, although I am the leader of all other planets in the universe, and although I have undergone many, many years of penance for self-realization, still I offer my respects unto you.
Yeah, so although Prabhupada in word to word has put that meaning of bibhemi, meaning I am fearful, I fear, but he has not put it in translation, if you see, like that. So the verse, that bibhemi word is there, which means that even I fear actually. So this verse is talking about the limit of strength of time, kala balvatta, काल की बलवत्ता की सीमा बता रहा है ये श्लोक. The limit of strength of time, that even personality like Brahma is fearful. Meaning Brahma is saying that even I am controlled by time. Such is the powerful energy of yours. Although yasmad bibhemi ahamapi, yasmad means kalat, that kala which was talked in the prior verse. I am fearful of that kala, although dviparardha dhishnam adhyasitah. Although I sit in a planet or I sit in a place which is dviparardha dhishnyam, meaning it sustains, it survives for time of dviparardha. Brahmaji's 50 years are known as parardha. Another parardha, 2 parardhas, 100 years. So although I am adhyasita, I am situated in an abode which is for dviparardha, Satyaloka and all these planets, Satyaloka, Maharloka, all these planets, they stay for complete Dviparardha time. They are not so although I am situated in such an abode, he says that which abode is Sakala Loka Namaskritam Yat, that Dhishnyam, that abode is Sakala Loka Namaskritam. It is offered obeisances, namaskar by whole world, meaning by all 3 worlds. So, although it is like this, he says, I am bibhemi, even I am fearful of the time, because yes, after Dviparad, time is over, even Brahmaji's lifespan is over, like that. So, tepe tapo bahu savo avarut samana. So he says that, so I also perform great austerities, tepe tapo, मैं भी बहुत सारा तप करता हूँ for many years, बहु savah, avurut samanah, meaning that Prabhupada says as desiring to obtain you, desiring to obtain fearlessness, avarut samanah, that meaning of that phrase is given by acharyas as one who wants to overcome the effect of time. Kalam vashikritam. He wants to conquer over the time, like that. So, such Brahmaji who wants to kalam vashikartum icchan, he wants to cross over the effect of time and perform such great austerities. But Brahma says that even I am not, my body and my abode is also not completely beyond the scope of time. After Dviparardha time, even that is destroyed. Such is your power actually. In front of time, nothing can be sustaining. Everything is finished by the passage of time, right? Like that. Kalena sarvatra viplavah. Gajendra also says, Ichhami kalena nayasya viplavah. He says, Kala destroys everything except, he says that, except the ignorance, except the avidya. That avidya goes ahead as Kala passes, that avidya also becomes more and more stronger. So there he says that, Lord, I desire that ignorance is destroyed. So anyway, point is that yes, time is so powerful that Brahmaji also says that although I am arudha sitting on Dviparardhishnyam, but still even I am fearful of time. So that is the point. So fear of time for Brahmaji, it is not in the sense like Brahmaji is like some materialist who is, in the sense that he is trying to make this point that actually time is so powerful that each and every living entity in this world is controlled by time. So if you want to really control time, pure bhakti is the only option. Pure bhakti is the only way. Uh, that is his point actually. Uh, so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that. He says that Shuddha Bhaktin Vina Kalo Na Jayo Bhavati. शुद्ध भक्ति के बिना काल पर जय कोई नहीं प्राप्त कर सकता. So that's why I have understood this tattva. Even though I performed great austerities or I performed great penances and all that, but I can't conquer time. So that's why param shuddham bhakti meva karvani iti dhvanihi. So I should perform actually bhakti only, and only by bhakti, pure bhakti, that the influence of time will be conquered. With that understanding, he is saying that bibhemi. That is the point. So Prabhupada also says in purport that he says if Brahmaji is such a personality who has longest duration of life in terms of dviparardha, if he also offers obeisances unto Lord, because Lord is so powerful with his time factor, so Prabhupada said it is incumbent upon all others. It is mandatory. It is anivarya for all of us who are much below from the standard of Brahmaji's lifespan, that we offer our respect to the Lord who is so powerful. So that particular aspect of Kala is being offered respect by Brahmaji. Okay, 19. Tiryang manushya vibhudadishu jiva yoneshva atmechayatmakrita setu paripsaya yaha रेमे निरस्त विषयोप्यवरुद्ध देह तस्मै नमो भगवते पुरुषोत्तमाय. Hare Krishna.
O my Lord,
Please read.
by your will, your own will, you appear in the various species of living entities, among animals lower than human beings, as well as among the demigods, to perform your transcendental pastimes. You are not affected by material contamination. You come just to fulfill the obligations of your own principles of religion. And therefore, O Supreme Personality, I offer my obeisances unto you for manifesting such different forms.
Yes. So he offered the obeisances to Kala Rupa, Vishwa Rupa, all that. So now he offers obeisances to Paramupasya Satchidananda Rupa. So this is offering obeisances to now Lord Satchidananda Rupa. Okay, the form which is full of knowledge, eternity and bliss. Jagad Rupa, Kala Rupa, he has already pranamya, he has offered the obeisances. Idanim, now Satchidananda Swarupatvena Pranamati. He is offering obeisances to Lord's all the beautiful Satchidananda forms that he takes. So with that, he is saying this verse with that perspective. So he says, I offer my obeisances to that Purushottama, Supreme Lord. Tasmai namo bhagavate Purushottamaya. Who, what? Tiryang manushya vibhudadishu jiva yonishu. He takes his forms in Tiryang, animal species, Manushya in human species, Vibhuda, also he appears in demigods, avatars like Vaman avatar, that is Lord's avatar in Vibhudas, in Devayoni. Like that. So in this way, different species of life Lord appears. But this appearance of Lord is not by some force of karma. Atmechaya. He appears by his own sweet will. And what is the purpose? Atma krita setu paripsyaya yah. He appears in order to preserve his word, preserve his pratijna that he has done. Atma krita setu paripsaya. The obligation that he has towards his devotees, the pratijna, the ashvasanam that he has given to his devotees, in order to fulfill that, he appears. Atmechaya. By his own sweet will. So that word is commented by Acharyas. I'll explain that. Reme avaruddha deha. So in this way, taking these forms, O Lord, Reme, meaning you, aap ramaman hote ho. You perform your transcendental pastime like that. Ramate, Reme. Nirasta Vishayopi Avaruddha Deha. Although he doesn't have anything to do with material sense objects, Nirasta Vishayaha. He has nothing to do with sense objects of this world, but still he takes up these forms. He takes up all these different forms and comes in this material world and delights in his pastimes. Avaruddha Deha. He takes these forms which are like limited forms, means they appear like they are limited, right? Like how even Mayavadis say Lord's form is limited because if he's embodying, if he's coming as taking some form, then he is limited. So that is Avaruddha Deha. So he's manifesting himself as if bound in a body. But that actually word is not meaning that avaruddha deha. It's completely different meaning, that he is transcendental. Although he is manifesting that body, but then he is completely transcendental in that form also. He is unlimited even in that form. So I offer my obeisances unto such personality. Okay. So Prabhupada speaks how Lord's incarnations are always transcendental, even if he appears in form of humans or animals. We saw that anthropomorphism or zoomorphism, such ideologies don't apply to Lord, because even though he appears in those forms, those are his original forms, first and foremost. And second is also he is not limited forms like that. So that's why avajananti ma modha manushim tanum ashrita. Those who misunderstand Lord by considering him to be limited, ordinary, these are Mayavadis. This is referring to that particular offenders of the Lord who think Lord as Maya, like that. So these ideas don't apply to the Supreme Lord. Although he appears in this way, it is for his own pleasure, it is for his own pastime. And Lord still remains unlimited Lord who is not bound by space and time when he takes such forms. So that is the point. So here, Atmechaya is translated by Srila Jiva Goswami as Bhakta Pipalayishaya. Bhakta Pipala Isha. Pipala Isha means desire to protect. He comes to reciprocate with his devotees. He comes to nourish them, protect them by his reciprocation. That's his desire, Atmechaya. Avaruddha Deha, Jiva Goswami translates as Prakatita Murti, meaning he manifests a form which is looks like a limited form, but then it's not a limited form in the sense of a material form is limited, but that form is not limited. Avaruddha Deha. Aruddha, actually, it is not restricted. And that word has a unique etymology, vyutpatti, by which it means Aruddha Deha. Ava plus Aruddha Deha means that actually that form is not limited. It is unrestrained, unrestricted, like that. So it has some special grammar rule because of which it becomes that. So let it be. Atma Kretu Krita Setu Paripsaya. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that what is this Atma Krita Setu Paripsaya? He says that this is actually meaning to that Lord has given this promise that Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. So I will accept anything which is offered with love and devotion. So to fulfill such promise, to reciprocate with his devotees, he comes and does all these pastimes, incarnations. He takes so that he can reciprocate with his devotees in that manner. So what is that Swakrit Maryada? वो सेतु क्या है उनका? उन्होंने बनाया हुआ. What is that Maryada that he has? So that Maryada is basically that he has given the promise that I will reciprocate with my devotees. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. So to fulfill this promise, he comes to the material world. Along with that, he does all those things like Paritrana Sadhunam and all that. That is fine. But primary purpose is again to reciprocate with his devotees. To accept all these things like Srak Chandana Gandha Pushpa, he says, to accept from devotees garlands, fragrance, form. So that's why he takes those incarnations like that. Or he also, Vishwanath Chakravarti gives a very interesting meaning to that Avaruddha Deha. He says Bhagwan, Lord comes to this world to get bound, avaruddha deha, to get bound by Mother Yashoda's rope. He says, avaruddha deha, jinka deha bandha gaya hai. Kisse? By the rope of Mother Yashoda. So that is again the point of performing pastimes. So he comes in this world so that's to get bound by personalities like Yashoda or Srimati Radharani, who binds the Lord by her love, by pranaya rashanaya, by the affection, by the love that she has. So that is also meaning of avaruddha deha, that he is. So this is why he is Purushottama. He is greater than all those Purushavataras who do Srishti Leela and all that. But especially if it is referring to Krishna, he says that yes, how he is Purushottama. So that term then he is referring specifically to Krishna. Atosmi loke vedecha prathitah Purushottama. Krishna also says in Gita that way. So that is the meaning. Okay, verse 20. Yo vidyayānupahatopi dashārdha vritya nidrām uvaha jathari kritaloka yatraha antarjale ahi kashipusparshanukulam bhimor mimalini janasya sukham vivrinvan. Yes.
My Lord, you accept the pleasure of sleeping in the water of devastation, where there are violent waves, and you enjoy pleasure on the bed of snakes, showing the happiness of your sleep to intelligent persons. At that time, all the universal planets are stationed within your abdomen.
So now in verse 20 and 21, what he does, now he, after offering obeisances to Lord's all Satchidananda Rupas, he offers obeisances to this particular form which he is saying, the form of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. So 20 and 21, he is offering obeisances to Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, recounting his activities or his pastimes, Srishti Leela aspect. So he says that I offer my obeisances to this particular form now which I am seeing in front of me. Idanim drashyamanam, right now which the form that I am seeing, to that pranamati, he offers his obeisances to that particular form. So what is that form? That form, he says, yo vidyaya anupahatopi, although this form has nothing to do with avidya, it is not influenced by avidya in any way, right? Avidyaya anupahataha. It is not affected by avidya. It has nothing to do with avidya. Still nidram uvaha. This form has accepted sleep. Lord is sleeping, right? In yoga nidra. Nidram uvaha. He has accepted sleep. Literally, he has married with sleep. Uvaha, nidram uvaha. He has accepted the sleep. Dashardha vritya. As if, like avidya has those 5 features, right? Avidya, smita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. Dashardha means 5, panchavritya. So although avidya has those 5 features like asmita and abhinivesh and all that, so he has accepted this nidra, although he has nothing to do with avidya. So meaning that actually his sleep is transcendental. His sleep doesn't have those panchavritti, those aspects which are avidya and all that, asmita. So his sleep is transcendental. It is out of Swarup Shakti. It has nothing to do with avidya. When common person, he is sleeping, he is in ignorance, that is out of avidya, but not the Supreme Lord. So he accepted the sleep, Jathari Krita Loka Yatra, while all the universes, all the planets, the 3 planets were all into his belly. He is maintaining them in his abdomen. So this is talking about the Pralaya Kal, Brahmaji's night. Jathari Krita Loka Yatra. Everything is in his Jathar, all these planets like that. And what is he doing? Antarjale ahi kashipu sparshanu kulam. उन्होंने निद्रा का स्वीकार किया. कैसी निद्रा? अहि कशिपु स्पर्शानुकूला. He is sleeping on a bed, Kashipu, which is made up of body of this Shesha, Ahi, Ananta. And that body we see is sparshanukula. It is very wonderful bed, isn't it? That bed is antarjale. It is in Garbhodak ocean, and that too it is also on the body of Ananta. So because of that, it is a very nice bed. He is sleeping on a very nice kashipu sparshanukulam, very soft bed like that. So although Bhimor me Malini, although the whole Garbhodak ocean is ferocious with its waves, the pralaya waters reaching down even to top planets. So everywhere it is ferocious, ocean waves. But he is sleeping peacefully on that Ahikaship, on the serpent bed, like Janasya Sukham Vivrinvan. He's showing the pleasure of worldly pleasure of sleeping. So there is some, you can say that some humor is there in this in terms of, actually he is such an amazing person. Whole pralay is going on. I am in anxiety. Brahma is saying, I am in anxiety. And whole planets are in his body. Everywhere the ocean waters have reached such heights. And he is sleeping peacefully like that. Janasya Sukham Vivrinvan. Showing the happiness of sleep, showing the happiness which is there experienced also by materialistic people like that. So he is not meaning any disrespect. He is saying that here is a Lord who is beyond all time and space. Just see, he is not bothered by any situation, time or space or anything. He is beyond. He is free from anxiety. He is not like a common person. That's why Prabhupada also very nicely, Prabhupada translates, you are showing happiness of your sleep to intelligent persons. So, although he is sleeping like some sleepy person, but intelligent people will understand the conclusion. Oh, see, this is that Supreme Lord who is actually beyond all ignorance, who is beyond all fear. He is beyond all destruction. Sare Kal Desh ke pare hai ye. He is not bothered by any kind of sangha. He is not fearful of any kala or desha or sangha, nothing. Sarva kala, sarva desha, sarva sangha nirbhaya. Vishwanath Chakravarti says. Sare kal, sare desh, sare sangha se nirbhaya ye. So that's why intelligent person will worship this form, although he is sort of manifesting sleep like some ordinary person. So he says that. So Prabhupada in purport says that actually people cannot think of anything beyond limit of their own power. Like they are like frogs in the well. Dr. Frog, Prabhupada's famous example. So these people, when they hear descriptions like this Garbhodakshai Vishnu is sleeping in the waters of devastation, and he's sleeping on serpent bed, and all the planets are in his stomach. All this, when they hear, they feel like, what is this? Fantastic, right? Prabhupada says they call it legendary. Ye to sab legend hai. It's a myth, mythology, as they say. But actually, that is Dr. Frog only, because just as that frog couldn't estimate the extent of the ocean, similarly, what is their little intelligence? How it will be able to estimate the powers of the Supreme Lord, like that. Little intelligence can mitigate this foolish astonishment, Prabhupada is saying. Even so many living entities stay in the water, so why can't Lord stay in the water, who is source of everything? So Prabhupada gives simple logic for that. But even that simple logic is so much not understood by people, isn't it? So Prabhupada finally says, the distinction of the Lord is that his activities are all transcendental, and he is able to do anything and everything without being deterred by limitations of time and space. This is the exact translation of Vishwanath Chakravarti's that phrase, Sarvakala, Sarvadesha, Sarvasanga Nirbhaya. He is not limited by any time and space or anything. His activities are transcendental. So that is the point. Although he may look like he is sleeping, and these activities may appear like he's sleeping, like Nidralu person. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, who will happily sleep even if there is fear for everybody else? सारे लोग के लिए fear का कारण, भय का कारण है. But he is sleeping nicely. He says, Nidralu eva. निद्रालु जन एव सुखम एव निद्रति. ऐसा तो कोई निद्रालु व्यक्ति ही सो सकता है. Like Bhaktivedanta Saraswati gave that story of two lazy people, right? BB, MA, back burning, more aside. So like that he is saying. So he is manifesting like Lokavat. Vedanta Sutra says Lokavat tu lila kaivalyam. Actually, Krishna does such leelas which are like Lokavat. But intelligent people will understand this is not ordinary sleep. Srila Jiva Goswami says that actually this kind of sleep is not available to others. He says, who can sleep on the bed of Shesha and I mean, in this way, right? He says, even in this world, water bed, I mean, Jiva Goswami doesn't say water bed, but he says that it is a comfortable, most comfortable bed that Lord has. Even in this world, water bed is considered a very high class bed, right? They say that it is very comfortable. Patients and all, they are offered water bed so that they don't get bed sores. So this is the perfect water bed, full of comfort, which Srila Jiva Goswami says. And it is understood by intelligent people that it is not available to others. Durgama. So this is actually Supreme Lord, his such pastime he performs. Okay, one more verse. He always offers obeisances to this Lord. Yannabhipadma bhavanada samidya lokatrayopakarano yadanugrahena tasmai namasta udarasta bhavaya yoga nidravasana vikasannaline kshanaya.
O object of my worship, I am born from the house of your lotus navel for the purpose of creating the universe by your mercy. All these planets of the universe were stationed within your transcendental abdomen while you were enjoying sleep. Now, your sleep having ended, your eyes are open like blossoming lotuses in the morning.
Yeah. So he's continues to glorify the Lord whom Brahmaji is seeing. Yannabhi Padma Bhavana Daham Asamidya. I appeared from his Nabhi Padma Bhavan. I appeared from his lotus navel. That stem came from Lord's lotus navel, and on that Padma, Brahmaji was born. Lokatrayopakaranaha yadanugrahena. And by whose mercy only I have become Lokatrayopakaranaha. Lokatrayopakaranaha is for Brahma. He is talking about himself. That actually I am the one who has been then assigned the task of rearranging these planetary systems and then further visarga, further secondary creation. Lokatrayopakarana. मतलब ये लोकत्रय मेरे हाथ में उपकरण के रूप में दिया गया है. This three planetary systems have been offered to me like an instrument. I am supposed to work with them. I am supposed to create them and create the progeny, and in this way. So that is Lokatrayopakarana. I have been awarded that responsibility. By whose mercy? Tasmai namasta udarastha bhavaya. So I offer my obeisance to that Lord in whose udara, belly, is the whole universe. He is the one who is having all those planets in his body, in his belly. Yoga nidra vasana vikasan naline kshaya. And now there is a time of his yoga nidra getting completed. So he is about to now open his beautiful eyes, naline kshanaya. His eyes, which are like blossoming lotuses, now he will be opening them, opening these eyes. Vikasan naline kshanaya. So Brahmaji is saying, Prabhupada, you see, Prabhupada gives interesting point. In purport, he says, Brahmaji is teaching us the beginning of Archana regulations from morning to night. Actually, in the verse, where is any Archana regulation that the verse is speaking? But Prabhupada says, begins by saying, Brahma is teaching us the beginning of Archana regulations from morning to night. So actually, this is based on Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's comment. Where Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that he offers Brahmaji offers obeisances, and then he says that now this Lord is about to open his eyes. So he is requesting Lord, actually, please, Hey Kripa Paravar, Hey Mat Prabho, O ocean of mercy, please open your eyes. Jagrahi, Jagrahi, please wake up. Uttishta, Uttishta. Kausalya, Supraja, Rama. Please, Uttishta, Jagrahi, Jagrahi. I want to do Mangalarti for you. Kinkaro aham. I am your Kinkara. Mangalartrikam Karavani iti bhava. I should do Mangalarti for you now. Please wake up, Lord. The time is there to wake up. Now this is the time for you to wake up. So taking that comment, Prabhupada says that this verse is talking about Archana regulations. It's telling us about. Brahmaji wants to perform Mangalarti, so we should also all perform Mangalarti. We should get up for Mangalarti. We should worship the Lord, dress in, bathe in, dress in, and nice all Archana regulations that he is speaking. So that's how Prabhupada is connecting to that thing. Mangala Artrikam Karvani. Oh Lord, please wake up. I wish to do, and please instruct me. He will say again that also. Sosavadabhra Karuno Bhagwan Vibruddha. Very famous verse, which is spoken by all those who wake up the deities in the morning. So that's the last verse in this prayer. Sosavadabhra Karuno. So he is saying that, Prabhupada is saying that that's how a devotee should lead this life of strict regime, offering services unto Lord, doing his archanam, right from Mangalarti to night. Foolish non-devotees not understanding the importance of archana, Prabhupada says, criticize the regulative principles. But they have no eyes to see that Lord also sleeps by his own will. So even Yoga Nidra, Lord is there, and Brahmaji is requesting that he wakes up so that he can perform his arati to the Lord. So taking that theme, Prabhupada is saying that we should know that Lord is a person. He also sleeps, although his sleep is transcendental. So there is the system of, that's why putting the deities to rest in the noon and then also in the night. There is proper kala. Vishrama Kala is there for Supreme Lord so that he can take rest. So it's a very personal philosophy of Krishna consciousness, right? That's why Prabhupada brings up the theme of impersonalist. How he doesn't understand this point. Prabhupada says, next line in the first para only, the impersonal conception of the Supreme is so detrimental to path of devotional service that it is very difficult to associate with stubborn non-devotees who always think in terms of material conception. They are not able to appreciate such things. When we offer bhoga to the Lord, they say, does Lord eat? Does he have to eat? What is this? So that is impersonal, like that. Why he has to sleep? God never sleeps, they say. So that is impersonal, actually, not understanding the real nature of Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada has one of the best refutations of impersonalism Prabhupada has put in his second para. I mean, very choice words he uses, actually, analyzing impersonalism. Like this he does also in Ishopanishad, where he, very eloquent terms shows the folly of impersonalism. So here also in second para, he says, impersonalists always think backwards. Very nice way of putting. Impersonalists think backwards, meaning what? See, what is forward? Forward is that material form, material name, material color, everything has a problem, right? It has limitation. It has that asat achit niranand nature. So go backwards, means destroy all material form, meaning destroy all form, all color, all attributes. That's called as thinking backward. No? Forward thinking is in this manner that, yes, every form, material form has a limitation. So then Sachidanand form, Sachidanand roop of the Lord, it should not have those limitations. So how do they go ahead with their logic? Then go backward, meaning reduce all form, no color, nothing. It's like you take a negative axis, XY coordinate system. So on the negative x-axis, if you go, so all material forms and all that are on negative x-axis. So they want to come from negative axis to origin 0, 0. Reduce all the things, no form, nothing. That is called as going backward. But it doesn't end there, 0, 0, origin. No, it goes positive further. Point is, you have to go from there to the positive x-axis, which is referring to spiritual form, spiritual name, spiritual color, and all that. So this way. So negation won't help. Prabhupada in Ishopanishad also says, definition of absolute by negation is incomplete. See, if you have material material form as a problem, no form which is material is also a problem. See, problem is not with form, problem is with matter. देखिए कोई चीज है material form, and you destroy that material form by exploding, then what will happen? The form will be gone. So does that mean that now that thing has become unlimited? Will you say that it has become unlimited? It is still limited. Whether material form is limited or material formless thing is whether it is form or formless, it is limited only, because problem is not with form, problem is with matter. So whether formless matter or with form matter, it is always limited only. But spiritual form is not like that. So that's why you have to get rid of the matter aspect, not the form aspect. Form is always there. Spiritual world also has that form, but the point is it is not made up of matter. It is made up of spirit. That is what Prabhupada is bringing out in this particular paragraph. He says that actually point is, matter is what is the trouble there. Spirit is not a spirit. When if it is having form, there is absolutely no issue. Or you can call a formless spirit also. Then that is Brahmajyoti, typically. So point is there is trouble with the matter, and that they don't understand. So even if you negate the form and all that, as long as you think negatively, that is not going to help in any way. So that will still remain a mundane conception of absolute. So that's why at best absolute can, this Mayavadis, they can tell about what absolute is not, but they can't tell about the positive form of Krishna. That is the point. So Prabhupada says at another place that without divine help, at best a person can understand his Brahman conception. He can't go beyond that. Meaning the positive form of Krishna, his name, form, pastimes, he plays flute, he is blue colored. That is impossible to be known by just negation. That is only possible if one takes the knowledge of Shastra and Bhakti and all. So that way. So anyhow, the point is that this verse is inspiring us for Archana. So we should accept these Archana regulations, Bhakti's regulations with seriousness. That is the point which Prabhupada is bringing up. So that is the thing. Okay, now last 3-4 verses which will talk about the benedictions that Brahmaji asks now. That is 22 to 25. He desires the benedictions, particular benedictions. So those are offered by Lord. So we'll just see these 4 verses now. Okay, text 22. Soyam samasta jagatam surideka atma satvena yanradayate bhagavan bhagena kenaiva medrisham anusprishatadyathaham srakshami purvavadidam pranatah priyosau. Yes. Hare Krishna, please read.
Let the Supreme Lord be merciful towards me. He is the one friend and soul of all living entities in the world, and he maintains all for their ultimate happiness by his 6 transcendental opulences. May he be merciful towards me, so that I, as before, may be empowered with the introspection to create, for I am also one of the surrendered souls who are dear to the Lord.
Okay. So now he offers he asks for benedictions. Prarthana, he does his prayers for special requests. Evam stutva prarthayate. Now he has glorified the Lord, and then now he asks for certain benedictions from Supreme Lord. So heart's desire is expressed to the Lord only after glorification. That is how the typical shishtachar is there in the prayer. That samprarthanatmika should come first, and then one goes to lalasamai, like that. Of course, if Lord's great devotees, premi bhaktas are there, that is a different case where Brajvasis and all, they don't follow the shishtachar of prayers typically, and not necessary they have to. But personalities like Brahma and all, this is said by Vishwanath Chakravarti in one of the commentaries. Personalities like Brahma, Indra and all, they will follow the shishtachar of prayers. And shishtachar of prayers means that you begin with samprarthanatmika. glorifying Lord, his energies and all that. And then finally you ask for some lalasa. Huh? You glorify the Lord, you express your dainya bodhika, you express your fallen condition, and then finally you ask for some lalasa, express some desire that Lord should fulfill. That way. So that way Brahmaji is also doing. Soyam samasta jagatam surideka atma. So this Lord, who is the well-wishing friend of whole world and who is the Paramatma. So he pleases, satisfies, causes happiness to the whole world by satvena, by his palan shakti, by his mode of goodness in which he protects everybody. Bhagavan bhagena, and also by his 6 transcendental opulences, bhaga, 6 bhagas. So may that Supreme Lord, what he should, what is that he is desiring? May drisham anusprishatat. So this is the specific benediction he is asking. May drisham anusprishatat. May he give me that power of introspection. May he give me that vision to create yatha srakshami, that I will be able to create the worlds like before Purvavadidam. So let him bestow upon me that bhaga, that sattva, that opulence and that palan shakti by which I will be able to also now create like before Purvavadidam pranata priyoso. That Supreme Lord who is very merciful to anybody who is surrendered unto him. So may he bestow his benediction. So that is the first thing he is asking, that may Lord give me the intelligence, give me the vision by which I will be able to create again. So that is his benediction that he is asking. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says here that Bhagena and Satvena, by these 2 ways Lord pleases the worlds. So Satvena means his activity of protecting the world by taking incarnations. He protects, like personalities like Indrari Vyakulam Lokam, Bradayanti Yuge Yuge. His devotees he protects. So Satvena, that is called. And to his pure devotees or his spiritual world's residents, he pleases them by bhaga, by his transcendental opulences. So Satvena is spoken in connection to material world, Bhagena is spoken in connection to the spiritual world. Or you can say Satvena is spoken in terms of mixed devotees and Bhagena is spoken in terms of pure devotees, that aspect. So Brahmaji is saying, you please bless me by both these aspects so that I would be able to create this world. How both these aspects? He says that by blessing me by Palan Shakti, by Sattva, I will be able to create like before. And by Bhaga, blessing me by Bhaga, transcendental opulences, my bhakti will be protected. He says, I am not just interested in creation. I am also interested in your bhakti, my Lord. I am also trying to be a devotee. So may your portion of sattva qualities, sattva, nourish my material wisdom to create the world, and may your bhaga nourish my spiritual wisdom so that I continue to have devotion unto you. I continue to have bhakti towards you. So that is the beautiful meaning that is there in these 2 words, bhaga and sattva, that way. By which then I will be able to create Srakshami. I can create people like Marichi and Narada. Prakrit, aprakrit people. I can create people like Marichi. I can create also pure devotees like Narad. So these personalities also Narad and all these personalities, typically they also live for entire duration of Brahma. But this discussion will come in later chapters. I will explain there that after Brahmaji's 50 years, even personalities like Narad Muni and all that, they also disappear in the sense like they have to be recreated by Brahma. Otherwise, what is the point in recreating Narada when he has to live for entire life of Brahma? But why is he saying like that? Because this is a special pralaya which happens after 50 years, in which even these personalities disappear, like Kumaras and Narad, and they have to be also recreated. So this is there in the further chapters, we can see that, no problem. So Prabhupada in purport, he's touching these themes only. He says that Lord is Bhagavan, he possesses these 6 opulences. And Brahmaji is asking for mercy so that by his mercy he can create both material and spiritual personalities. You see, Prakrit Aprakrit, dono bhi vyaktiyon ko. That's the meaning of that Atma word, in fact. This is all based upon Vishwanath Chakravarti's comments. Clearly, Prabhupada is translating that in his purport. Okay. Esha prapanna varadora mayatma shaktya yad yad karishyati grihita gunavatarah tasmin svavikramidam srajatopi cheto yunjita karma shamalam cha yatha vijayam. Yes, please read. Translation.
The
Maybe,
Supreme Lord,
yeah, one. Yeah.
the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, is always the benefactor of the surrendered souls. His activities are always enacted through his internal potency, Rama, the goddess of fortune. I pray only to engage in his service in the creation of the material world, and I pray that I not be materially affected by my work, for thus I may be able to give up the false prestige of being the creator.
Yeah, very important benediction. Prabhupada would quote this other places also. That very important benediction he seeks in this particular verse. That let me not be proud, let me not have that false prestige of being creator. So he is asking for that particular benediction. So this whole work of creation is Rajoguna. So Brahmaji is praying that may he not be affected by that Rajoguna. And he is protecting for well-being of his bhakti. That is the theme of this verse. When I am doing this creative work, which is predominated by Rajoguna, सृष्टि कैसी है रजोगुणमयी. तो ये रजोगुणमयी सृष्टि करते हुए मेरे ऊपर रजोगुण का प्रभाव ना हो, and may my bhakti be protected. That is what he is praying in this particular verse, like that. Esha prapanna varado, one who offers all benedictions to those who are surrendered. And he has accepted this form by his Atma Shakti, by his Ramaya, by his Rama, meaning whatever form that Lord has accepted, that is transcendental, it is by internal potency, by Swarupa Shakti, like that. So all these forms are completely transcendental. They are by his Swarupa Shakti called Rama or Atma Shakti, that way. So when I am creating this world, idam srijataha, idam vishvam srijataha, when I am creating this world in which swavikramam, in which this whole world is full of Lord's glories, means actually Lord's potency. In this world, everywhere you can see Lord's potency, swavikramam. So when I am creating this world which is full of Lord's potency, Mama Cheto Yunjita, may Lord engage my mind. May my mind not be caught up in only the creation. May my mind not be attracted only to the creational aspect, but may my mind engaged into his pastimes. Vishwanath Chakravarti gives that comment, Cheto Yunjit. May my mind, my consciousness be engaged in what? He's saying it should not be engaged in some just creational functions and all that. No, let my mind be engaged in, let it not become attached or let it not develop attachment toward creational things, but it should develop attachment towards your Nam Rupa Guna Leela. Although I am doing these activities, surely I will create, but while creating this, let me always remember your lotus feet. Karma Shamalam cha Yatha Vijayam, by which I will not be influenced by this role of the creator. So that's what Prabhupada is translating as, I may be able to give up the false prestige of being the creator. That is the translation of Karma Shamalam Chayata Vijayam. That thing. So that contamination of being a creator, let it never ever overcome me. Rather, let my bhakti be protected. Let my consciousness always remain in your lotus feet. So Prabhupada ji first speaks about Grihita Gunavatara. Garbhodakshai Vishnu is source of both the Gunavataras. Then he says, so this is second line, Brahma, who is only an assistant in matter of creation, wanted to remain in his actual position as an instrument of the Lord instead of becoming puffed up by the false prestige of thinking himself the creator. That is the way of becoming dear to the Supreme Lord and receiving his full benediction. Very important line Prabhupada is saying. What is the way to become dear to the Lord and receive his full benediction? That we accept the service as humble instrument of Lord, not with the false prestige that just see, I am so great, I am only given this service. No. So even Brahmaji in that matter of creation, he is not puffed up. He's praying that let me not be puffed up thinking, you see, I am the creator, like that. So Lord doesn't tolerate the pride in the heart of a devotee, because everything is empowerment of Supreme Lord. So what is that we should be proud of, like that? So pride is Lord is not able to absolutely tolerate any pride in the heart of devotee. Nija jana smaya dhvamsana smita. So that smaya, that pride, Lord doesn't tolerate at all. Because he thinks, what is there to be proud of? If you understand tattva, body is given to you by Lord, intelligence is given to you by Lord, the resources are given to you by Lord, opportunities are given by him. And then Jiva, just for his desire, he is becoming proud. So that is not correct. So Prabhupada says, foolish people think that they deserve the credit, but intelligent people know that not even a blade of grass moves without will of Lord. So that's why all glory to Krishna, no glory for myself. So in this way, let my mind be attached to your lotus feet and let me not get carried away by creation. That's what he is saying. Mama chetaha, my mind, srishto na sajjatu. Let it not be attached to srishti. Not being in the sense of irresponsible, but in the sense of not being attached to those functions and thinking that I am great. Kintu tat leela kathayam eva. I should get attracted to, my mind should be, consciousness should be absorbed in your leela. That's what. So then that way I would be able to give up all karma shamalam in this way. Okay, 24, last two verses. Nabhi hasatom bhasi yasya pumso vijnana shaktirahmasam ananta shaktehe rupam vichitramidamasya vibrinvato me Maririshishta nigamasya giram visargah. Yes, please read.
The Lord's potencies are innumerable. As he lies down in the water of devastation, I am born as the total universal energy from the navel lake in which the lotus sprouts. I am now engaged in the manifesting his diverse energies in the form of cosmic manifestation. I therefore pray that in the course of my material activities, I may not be deviated from the vibration of the Vedic hymns.
Yes, so now he also asks for a benediction that he may never forget the Vedas. He may never be deviated from Vedic instructions. So may he always be aligned with the Vedic instructions. Mariri shishta nigamasya giram visarga. That giram visarga, the Vedic Vani nigamasya giram, वैदिक वाणी का जो विसर्ग है, वैदिक वाणी जो है उसका जो विसर्ग यानी सृष्टि, मीनिंग दोज वर्ड्स ऑफ वैदिक स्क्रिप्चर्स, दोज वेदास मारिष्ट, may they not vanish. I should never forget them in the matter of this creation. May that knowledge of Vedas be constantly there within my heart so that I don't forget you, like that. So that is what he is asking. Yasya pumsa nabhi radha. Actually, okay, it was nabhi radhat iha sato. Okay. There was some mistake in Devanagari here, so I read that way. Yeah. So nabhi radhat iha sato. Actually, Lord, he is born from Lord's nabhi radha, the lake of Lord's lotus navel. And he says, I am the potency of Supreme Lord Vijnana Shakti. So when I am creating this world, asya rupam idam vibrinvato. When I am creating this Vichitra Vishwa, मैं जब इस विचित्र विश्व की निर्मिति कर रहा हूँ, विचित्र means variegated, colorful, full of variety, that is Vichitra. It can mean also strange, yeah, because many strange beings are there. When I am creating this world, may I never forget the Vedic Vani, may I never forget the scriptures. And that's what he is saying. So Prabhupada says here. Yeah. Prabhupada has written amazing purport actually. Very classic lines Prabhupada has written. He says, Prabhupada, every person engaged in the transcendental loving service of Lord in this material world is prone to so many material activities. And if one is not strong enough to protect himself against the onslaught of material influence, he may be diverted from the spiritual energy. So there is always a chance that in any service that we have taken, because it is full of material aspects also in terms of the money and people and resources being, one has to protect himself from material influence. Otherwise, one will just get caught up into it, and that way lose the focus from spiritual energy, right? In any service, we see that material aspect may take us, may sweep us off our feet. uh, so that's why one should take it as a caution. Yes. uh, all the resources, facilities, whichever are given to us are for a specific service, and if we remain focused on service, we will not become attached to those facilities or those aspects, those resources. Otherwise, there is always this risk of getting caught up in that. So that's why Brahmaji is showing us that how one should be very prayerful whenever one is receiving all these resources also for the service of the Lord. Prabhupada says Brahmaji has to create all kinds of living entities. And in these creation, he has to sometimes contact many vicious living entities also. He has to create personalities like Adharma, and then Adharma's offspring and Kali and all of them. So it's not a simple job. So Prabhupada is saying an ordinary Brahman may fall from Brahma Tejas due to his association with fallen souls. So when Brahmaji is creating all these personalities and all, where so many vicious kind of living entities, asuras and this and that, they are there. So he is saying that may I be protected in this situation, may I not fall down, and may I remember the words of the Vedas always. This Prabhupada in the middle of the purport. This is a warning for one and all in the spiritual advancement of life. This is a warning that actually that risk of falling down is always there. Unless one is sufficiently protected by the Lord, he may fall down from his spiritual position. Therefore, one has to pray constantly to the Lord for protection and the blessing to carry out one's duty. So very choice words Prabhupada is saying. We have to be prayerful. How Prabhupada also, he was praying continuously. Once Prabhupada gave a very strong class, and in the class he was saying, I'll kick this all illusion, avidya with my boot. And then he was going and praying in front of Srimati Radharani that, please protect me from Maya. So, point is, on one side, a pure devotee may show such confidence, but that confidence is only there because he is taking constant shelter of Lord's spiritual energy. So that is the point over here, that it's a warning that we should not get attached to the material aspects of our service, and then that way lose all the focus from spiritual life. So this is the point. Path of spiritual life is like edge of sharpened razor, Prabhupada says. Right? Uttishtita jagrita prapya varan nibodhatha. So, kshurasya dhara nishita durakyaya durgamas patha tat kavayo vadanti. This is Upanishad. So it says that nishita, this is a very sharp path, razor's edge, where one has to be careful. Inattentiveness means there will be, Prabhupada says, at once create havoc and bloodshed. There will be cut, meaning that one will lose the track from the spiritual life, and one may get into something else only, which is not pleasing to spiritual master or like that. So that is the point. Okay. Final verse. I will take a break after this. Okay, we'll end with this. Sosa vadabhrakaruno bhagavan vivruddha premasmitena nayanan burham vijrumbhan उत्थाय विश्व विजयाय च नो विषादम् माध्व्यागिरापनयतात् पुरुषः पुराणः. Hare Krishna. Yes, please read.
The Lord, who is supreme and is the oldest of all, is unlimitedly merciful. I wish that he may smilingly bestow his benediction upon me by opening his lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and remove our dejection by kindly speaking his directions.
So that is the last verse. Quite a popular verse, well known for Lord's Jagarana Seva, to be sung in the early morning to wake up the Lord. So Brahmaji is praying now for this Lord to wake up, to open his eyes. Lord is in Yoga Nidra. He is seeing that form of the Lord in his Samadhi. And Lord is not glanced on him. He hasn't opened his eyes and glanced on Brahmaji yet. So he is desiring for that benediction, that Nayanamburuham Vijrambhan. May he open his lotus-like eyes, and may he glance on me. Sosavadabhra Karuno. May that Supreme Lord, which is full of unlimited compassion, mercy, Vivruddha Prema Smitena, let him smile with great affection at me. May he glance at me with a smiling affection, with a greatly smiling, compassionate affection. So he's requesting the Lord to please wake up. Uthaya, may by waking up, may you glance on me. Uthaya Vishwa Vijayaya. So that I would be able to do this Vishwa Vijaya, meaning I would be able to do this creation of the world. Vishwa Vijaya. Vishwa Vijaya has other meaning also, we'll see. Basic meaning is I will be able to create the cosmic creation. Sridhar Swami gives that meaning. Prabhupada also says for glorifying the cosmic creation. By creating it, that's what he means. Prabhupada's meanings very much come from Sridhar Swami. In the text at least. In the purport, he brings out many other acharyas. Uthaya Vishwa Vijayaya Chano Vishadam. And also so that our Vishadam is apanayatat, it's taken away. Please remove our dejection. We are in dejection because of not getting your glance of mercy. So please, Lord, wake up and please glance on all of us who are your surrendered souls, so that we will be freed from this dejection. Madhya gira apanayatat purusha puran. And by glancing and also by the instructions, by his sweet instructions, he is saying, may he cause all the removal of all the vishad, all the dejection that we have. So that is the meaning. So he's praying for two aspects here. He's praying for Lord's Kripa Kataksha and Kripa Nidesha. Vishwanath Chakravarti says two prayers are there. Kripa Kataksha, he wants that Lord glances mercifully on him. And also Kripa Nidesha, that he offers a Nidesh, Adesh. Nidesh means Adesh. That he offers also, beautiful instructions on how to create and further whatever bhakti related instructions also. And by this only we dasas, we devotees will be happy, Brahma says. So that's why we are actually asking for this benediction. Servant will be blissful only by Kripa Nidesh and Kripa Kataksha. This way. So Prabhupada focuses on this point of Brahmaji seeking the blessings, like that. So Prabhupada says that this whole material world is for the purpose of, so that we reform our ways and accept Lord's instruction and execute his mission. And Brahmaji is seeking the blessings for that particular thing. Whole cosmic manifestation is so that we receive Lord's instruction and lead our life as per his instruction. So Brahmaji is asking for that kind of benediction over here. That may Lord wake up, glance on him mercifully, and give him instructions by which this task of Vishwa Vijaya can happen, like that. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also gives the meaning that Vishwa Vijaya means that Lord, he gives the meaning that Vishwa Vijaya means that in the aspect of creation, in the aspect of Lord's Seva, Brahmaji is not defeated. Parabhav Abhavaya. In the aspect of service of the Lord, that Brahmaji is not defeated. That is Vishwa Vijaya. So actually a devotee also wants that Vishwa Vijaya, not for his own glory, but for, spreading the glories of Supreme Lord. So So when we are praying to Lord Vishwa Vijayaya, what it means actually, Chakravarti Thakur is giving that hint that we want to become victorious in Lord's service, meaning that whatever is Lord's desire, let us become humble instruments in fulfilling that particular desire. This is not with some proud sense of Vishwa Vijay that we are talking. No. Point is, may we be successful in fulfilling Lord's desire and bringing glory to this path of Krishna consciousness. May we be successful in reaching out to the people whom Lord's message should be going. So may we be not defeated by Maya in our service to Krishna. That's the point of Vishwa Vijay. Such beautiful meaning he is giving. That we are not defeated in our service because of Maya that way. So may Lord wake up and bestow that kind of glance by which we will be able to render our service to the Lord's satisfaction that way. So, Cha is also there in this verse. Vishwa Vijayaya Cha. So for Brahmaji specifically means he's also asking for a benediction of all the prior benediction that he asked. Not only creating the world, creating the universe, but also all the prior benedictions, like he should not forget the Vedas. He should always remember Lord, be immersed in his remembrance, and let he always be, all those benedictions. Let him not be proud, and let him also be able to create all the aspects of the service and all. So especially with Cha, all the spiritual benedictions are also there. So this is his benediction. So Prabhupada says that how whole material world is for this reciprocation, and we want to reciprocate with the Lord, like Prabhupada says how the gopis are reciprocating by serving Krishna and pleasing Krishna. So similarly, we should know that the soul is meant for that reciprocation, predominated and predominator. He says we are all supposed to join in that blissful reciprocation with Supreme Lord, just as Raslila of Lord is showing. So every jiva can join in that service to Supreme Lord. That is compared to like Rasalila, meaning pleasing the Lord, making him happy. So for that purpose only this whole creation is there, and we seek Krishna's blessing for that purpose. So that is how Brahmaji prays for Lord to bestow his blessings. Hare Krishna. So that completes these prayers. Hare Krishna. Okay, so please take a break for 7 minutes. Then we will assemble to take some questions, and then the last section now, it will be quick because I am not going to discuss much from Tika. Just quick points I will take, and we'll finish this in remaining time very easily. Okay. Hare Krishna. So please take a break for 7 minutes. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So that was the Brahmaji's prayers. Does any one of you have any questions? Quick questions we can take, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then we proceed. Any questions on what we discussed, verse 18 onwards?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, there, like here we heard, like there are two things saying that on the path of bhakti, like it's like walking on a razor's edge. That is one thing said. And at the same time, we also hear that one can walk on this path blindfold without falling. So how to reconcile, understand both?
Yeah, so that particular verse, which is famous verse, that on this path you can run, what to speak of, even if you don't have eyes. So those eyes refer to Shruti and Smriti there. If you see Sridhar Swami's explanation, he very clearly mentions that this means that the Shruti and Smriti are considered the eyes, and even if one doesn't have very great knowledge of Shastra, Shruti and Smriti, if he just sticks to Guru's instructions and follows those very, very nicely, then one will na patediha, na skhalet na patediha, he says, that person will not fall or anything. So in that verse, the whole focus is on that jnana may not be like somebody is not super intelligent, he may not have in-depth knowledge of Shruti Smriti, but still if he takes shelter of Guru's instructions, there is no question of any falling. So that is the specific meaning of that particular verse, like that. What is highlighted in that verse is the great faith in Guru's instructions and all. But on the other side, why it is said to be Nishita Kshurasya Dhara is because, yes, when you are walking on that path, if you deviate from Guru's instructions also, if you deviate from Vaishnava's instructions also, then there will be bloodshed. Then there will be cutting that way. So you understand both verses have different focus actually. So the focus is different. Here the focus is in terms of, yes, once you take the instructions, once you accept this particular path, then you have to remain focused to follow those instructions and not get carried away by these things and all. So, clear? It's clear?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
You were mentioning about that this Parardha 50th is a special pralaya. So actually I was having this question that here the mentioning is, it is mentioned that Brahma is born and all this thing. So is this the first time Brahma is being born, or is the second time it's being born, or every time it's happening? What
Yeah.
it is?
Yeah, actually Murli Mukund Pro also asked this question yesterday. So I said that we will discuss this in coming discussion on 11th chapter where the kalpas are being discussed. So no problem. So anyway, this particular pastime that is happening is in the night of Brahma at the end of 50th year. So it is not the pastime of Brahma being born. This is not the first day of Brahma. This is the 51st year's first day of Brahma. So anyway, on this now many questions may come. So this is a huge topic itself in the 11th chapter that we will see. So I can take the questions over there.
And what are the 5 aspects of Nidra you are mentioning?
5 aspects of Vidya, yeah, they're, see these are avidya itself is there in that. Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. These are the 5 aspects. So these are explained by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras. So, okay, this discussion also will come when in the Visarga aspect, 12th. So maybe if you want the detailed explanation of each one of these components, I can do it there. Each one of them will take some time. What is Avidya, Asmita, Rag, Dvesh, Abhinivesha in terms of words. But yeah, those are the 5 aspects. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Can I ask a question from previous unit? Which Radhika?
Oh, no. No, let me finish this. Otherwise, I will carry forward this chapter to the next session, which will be a problem. So let me finish this. Then maybe, Prabhu, if time persists, we can take other units questions also. at least with whatever limited knowledge that I have. Fine. Anything related to this section that we saw? We'll complete the further section now. Okay, thank you all. Fine, we'll go ahead now. This is the last section now. Brahma receives the benedictions, receives the glance, kripa kataksha, kripa nidesha of Supreme Lord, and he receives this benediction. That's the rest of the part. So, wish to cover this in the remaining time. So, text 26. Uvacha swasambhavam nishamyaivam tapo vidya samadhibhi yavan manovachah stutva viradam sakhinnavat. Translation.
The sage Maitreya said, O Vidura, after observing the source of his appearance, namely the personality of Godhead, Brahma prayed for his mercy as far as his mind and words would permit him. Thus, having prayed, he became silent, as if tired from his activities of penance, knowledge and mental concentration.
Yes. So Maitreya continued to Vidura, explaining these things. So in this way, Brahmaji saw Swasambhava. He saw the source of his appearance, Swasambhava. Nishamya here means seeing him. He saw him in his meditation, in his samadhi. He saw him. Nishamya evam. Tapo vidya samadhibhi. See, it is written. He saw him by performing penances, in his meditation samadhi. And vidya here is given a specific meaning by Vishwanath Chakravarti. And that's how the whole purport is on that aspect of vidya. So we'll see that. Yavan mano vachah stutva. And as far as his mind and intelligence, his words go, virarama. He stopped. Brahmaji stopped. Became silent. Sakhinnavat. And as if he was like tired, as if he was dejected, that he stopped actually, this way. So why is that it is said Khinnavat? Yeah, because Lord, he was praying and he wanted Lord to bestow his merciful glance on him. So because he was only praying and Lord hasn't still opened the eyes and glanced on him, so he was Khinnavat. He became silent. So after this, now Lord will open his eyes and glance on Brahma, right? So that is how it is. So that's why Virarama Sakhinnavat. That is the point in this particular verse. Brahma became as if tired or as if little dejected because Kripa Katakshasya Anupalambhat. Kripa Kataksh ke prapt na hone ke karan Khinna iva Virarama. Like that. So that is the point. Vidya here, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a specific meaning, and this is from 11th chapter, 11th canto. He quotes a verse where it is said, Acharya Chaitya Vapusha Svagatim Vinakti. Actually, Supreme Lord, he manifests himself by Acharya in the form of Acharya, meaning spiritual master externally, and Chaitya Guru internally. And by means of these two personalities, he makes sure that the embodied living beings understand his path. Svagatim Vyanakti. Like that. Svagatim Vyanakti. So in this way. So basically by Supreme Lord's inside revelation, meaning Supreme Lord through his heart, he blessed Brahmaji with that inspiration to offer the prayers and with that intelligence to offer the prayers. And that's how he could Brahmaji, he could see the Lord. So Vidya here basically is referring to that inspiration that he received from within the heart by Supreme Lord's, Chaitya Guru, that particular form, meaning basically Lord acting within the heart as Antaryami in this manner. So that aspect, Acharya Chaitya Vapusha, that is what is commented by Prabhupada in the purport. Why Prabhupada brings up that point of Brahma's enlightening knowledge was due to Lord sitting within his heart. If you see only the verse, you may not even understand which part of the verse it is connecting. It is connecting to that Vidya word actually. And that will be clear only if you see Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary, because he connects that Vidya to this aspect of Chaitya and Acharya Vapusha, like that. So Prabhupada talks about Chaitya Guru, how spiritual master inside Chaitya Guru and outside as one's Guru, spiritual master, they both are there to take us to the Lord. Swagatim Vyanakti, खुद की गति को लेके जाते हैं, व्यक्त करते हैं in this way. So Prabhupada says, unless one is such a bona fide representation of the Lord, one cannot claim to be a spiritual master. So that's why spiritual master and Chaitya Guru, they are in tandem. They are in sync of each other, like that. Spiritual master wouldn't speak anything which is not, which is not approved by scriptures and by Chaitya Guru, by Supreme Lord. So Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. So basically that enlightenment of Brahma is coming from within the instructions within the Lord. So that is what is spoken in that. Next verse. Atha abhipretam anviksha brahmano madhusudana vishanna chetasam tena kalpavati karambhasa loka samsthana vijnana atmana parikhidyatah tamaha gadhaya vacha kashmadam shamayanniva.
The Lord saw that Brahma was very anxious about the planning and construction of the different planetary systems and was depressed upon seeing the devastating water. He could understand the intention of Brahma, and thus he spoke in deep, thoughtful words, removing all the illusion that had arisen.
Yeah, so this is the point where Lord is now opening his eyes, and not only that, he is giving Madhvya Gira, Madhur Gira, Madhvi Gira jo hai unki, Madhur Vacha. By that he is also going to give his instructions. So Brahmaji's ipsitam, desired thing is happening over here in these verses, where Lord is opening his eyes and speaking to Brahma beautiful instructions like that. So that is the thing. So Brahma was Vishanna Chetasam. He was very much distressed, dejected because of Kalpavyati Karambhasa. See, you can also see here, word is very clearly Kalpavyati Karambhasa, means that this particular creation was happening because of Kalpavyati Kara, because another Kalp was going to come, means it is happening at the day of, end of the day of Brahma, meaning at the day of end of the Brahma, night is there and night is ending and this is day starting. So new Kalpa is starting. So that is Kalpavyati Karambhasa. That's the meaning, this way. So he was Vishanna Chedasa. He was very dejected because this whole water, everywhere the Pralaya waters had reached, typical scenario of night of Brahma, like that. So that was one reason because of which he was dejected. Another was Loka Samsthana Vijnana Atmanah Parikhidyata. And he was not clear with how to create the proper creation aspects, planets and all that. So Loka Samsthan Vijnane Atmanah Parikhidyata. Lok Sanstha मतलब इस ग्रहों को, इस लोकों को बनाने की विज्ञान में वे पर्याप्त नहीं थे, इसलिए that's why he was parikhidyata, he was dejected. So in order to pacify and take away all his misery, dejection, Lord spoke with his agadha vacha. Lord spoke with his words which are deeply thoughtful. Krishna's words are, Lord's words are agad. They're actually full of meaning, so deep, everything, and even the sound is like megha gambhir. तो उसका import भी गंभीर होता है, उसका ध्वनि भी गंभीर होता है. That's why actually hundreds of acharyas give hundreds of meanings on Lord's words, great personalities' words, and still we see that there are so many more meanings. That is called as agadha vacha, like that. So he spoke with such thoughtful words which to Brahma, like that. So Prabhupada says also these two aspects. Brahma was fearful because of devastating waters, kalpavati karambhasa, and he was also dejected because of he didn't know how to create the things, how to place which planet and which living entities in which. That knowledge typically Brahma forgets after the night is there, and then he has to pray, do penance every time, and then Lord gives back the knowledge that is there. So in this way, like that. So these are the two reasons because of which Brahma was dejected. But point is, Prabhupada says, by last line, but by the grace of the Lord, Brahma was able to execute the tremendous task so perfectly that everyone is amazed to see the workmanship of the Vidhata. So then by grace of the Lord, he became so perfectly equipped with that knowledge that he was able to do it, like in the most perfect way. So Bhagwan Uvach, now Lord's words, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Ma Veda Garbhagas Tandrim Sarga Udyamamavaha Tanmaya Paditam Hyagre Yanmam Prarthayate Bhavan. Yes.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead then said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed nor anxious about the executions of creations. What you are begging from me has already been granted before.
Yes. So this verse is telling, Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Samasta Mohopashamamam Darshayati. This verse is telling that actually all the illusion of Brahmaji is destroyed, is going to be destroyed by Lord's mercy. So that's why this verse is, Lord is very much reassuring Brahmaji in this verse. Ma Veda Garbha Gas Tandrin. You don't have to become dejected. Tandri ko mat jao. So Tandri means, because of ignorance, uncertainty, not knowing what to do, that is called as Tandri, Anavadhan. So you are Veda Garbha. Come on, you are the one who will be speaker of Vedas. From Brahmaji's 4 mouths, 4 Vedas come out. So you are Veda Garbha, you are full of knowledge of Vedic wisdom. So you don't have to become dejected. Sarga Udyamam Avaha. You begin the enterprise of creation. Just undertake it. Chalu kar do sarga ke udyam ko. Tanmaya paditam hyagre yanmam prarthayate bhavan. Actually, whatever you have prayed for, no, Brahma, I am pleased by your austerities, pleased by your devotion. And I have already accomplished it, whatever you have prayed. Meaning, those benediction I have already given you. Now, it's like given, now go ahead, follow my instructions and all, whatever you have prayed, that is already granted by me. Maya apaditam agre, before only, in this way. So that is the point in this. So Prabhupada has written a very classic purport in which he says, any person authorized by either the Lord or his bona fide representative is already blessed, as is the work entrusted to him. So all the efforts in Krishna consciousness are already blessed. Only one has to be ready to take that penance and austerity in executing it. Prabhupada says like that. Fortunate is he who is so interested, and if he is always fixed in the sense of being subordinate to the will of Supreme, he is sure to come out successful. So the enterprise, the plans which are approved by the Lord and Vaishnava's blessings, they are already successful. We just have to become the instrument. He's quoting Arjuna's example, right? Krishna also says that in 11th chapter. Tasmat tvam yasho labhasva jnatva shatrun bhungshva rajam samriddham mayye vete nihata purvam evam nimittamaptam bhava savyasachin. Krishna also says, Maya eva ete nihata. Are mere dwara mare ja chuke ye sab. What you are fearful of? All these Bhishma, Drona and everybody. Maya eva nihita. वो सब मर चुके हैं. पूर्वम एव, before only, you just becomes a nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. So you have already conquered. That was one of the purposes of showing Vishwarup. Baldev Devotion clearly says. Krishna wanted to tell Arjuna that actually, you are worrying about whether this war I will win or not. Na chaitad vidmah kataranno gariyo yadva jayam yadivano jaye. Come on, you have already won the war. I'm telling you. Purvameva, I have killed all of them. You just be nimitta matra. That's it. So that is the point Prabhupada is raising, that actually we are already blessed in Lord's efforts, provided the service and plans are approved by the Guru and Vaishnava and Krishna, like that. So that's why we don't have to worry about the failures and all that. Yes, so you go ahead with the aspect of creation, like that. Prabhupada finally says, Anyone who takes pride in doing responsible work but does not give credit to Supreme Lord is certainly falsely proud and cannot execute anything nicely. So Brahma and persons in line of his disciplic succession who follow in his footsteps are always successful in the discharge of loving transcendental service. So that is the right mode with which one should accept. So all the efforts of Lord's devotees are blessed. That's the gist of the verse. Text 30. Bhuyastvam tapa atishta vidyam chaiva madashrayam tabhyam antardadhi brahman lokan rakshasi apavritan. Yes. Please read. Yeah, please read. Translation, anyone?
O Brahma, situate yourself in penance and meditation and follow the principles of knowledge to receive my favor. By these actions, you will be able to understand everything from within your heart.
Yeah. So, Lord wants Brahmaji to now again undergo austerities by which he says that especially the specific aspect of how the planets will be and what the progeny should be and who should be where and all that he will be able to see like that. So Brahmaji pleased the Lord and he got his darshan, and by that Supreme Lord appeared to him, and he's speaking, and then now for that specific purpose of doing creation, although Krishna says that I have granted all these benedictions, but he asks him to again do the tapasya also for this specific purpose of being able to do the creation, right? So he has to do that particular tapasya, and then he is blessed with that purity of consciousness and purity of consciousness, and also all the knowledge that is necessary for achieving these benedictions. So importance of penance or austerity, that is spoken, that is the opinion of acharyas, that yes, by one austerity he achieved the favor of the Lord, and then Lord is instructing him by which the specific task of doing the creation, and also he is again asked to do the penances, and Brahmaji does penances, and then after that he creates. That is the point. So that's why he's saying bhuyahatvam tapatishta, please again perform the austerity, vidyam chaiva madashrayam, by this penance, by this meditation, all that, and by that you in your heart you will be able to see all these lokan, these planets, all the worlds, how they should be. Apavratan means how their structure should be, and all that you will be able to understand that within your heart. So that specific purpose for which Lord also is telling to do him tapasya again. So it is not like his previous tapasya is failure or something. No, you understand. By that tapasya he pleased the Supreme Lord, and by which Lord appeared to him, and he is instructing him. And then again he is saying that for the specific cause of this creation, you undergo the tapasya. So Prabhupada says in purport, the mercy the Lord bestows upon a particular person engaged in executing responsible work entrusted upon unto him is beyond imagination. But his mercy is received due to our penance and perseverance in executing devotional service. So point is, the mercy is available, but then our penance and perseverance is also needed. Not like, everything dependent on Lord's mercy and we sit peacefully and sleep. No, we also have to put effort, right? So every enterprise, although we receive blessings of Vaishnavas, we have to also take the effort. Both the aspects, effort and mercy, both the aspects are there. That is the point that Prabhupada is raising, like that. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead. Tata atmani lokecha bhakti yukta samahitah drashtasi mam tata tatam brahman mayi lokanstvam atmanah. Yes.
O Brahma, when you are absorbed in devotional service, in the course of your creative activities, you will see me in you and throughout the universe. And you will see that you yourself, the universe, and the living entities are all in me.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you will see By this penance and austerity, Atmani Lokecha Bhakti Yukta Samait. When you, in this way, are absorbed in the course of creative activities, meaning your activity of creation should also be with bhakti. Lord is in fact giving the benediction that you will have bhakti. I give you this benediction that you will be situated in bhakti, and while you are creating, and that way you will be able to see me, mam drashtasi. You will be able to see me, atmani lokecha. You will be able to see me in yourself and in all the places, in all the planets. Means Brahmaji will never forget the Supreme Lord. He will be able to see in all his creative functions also always the hand of the Supreme Lord, and he will be able to remember him, like that. So not only that, he will be able to see how to create and all that. That is what the prior verse said. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, like Adarsha Darshi Lekhak. Just as Adarsha Darshi Lekhak, meaning somebody who in his meditation is able to see everything, his whole novel, and he's writing it down. Adarsha means basically main manuscript. That is one of the meanings of Adarsha. Original manuscript is known as Adarsha. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Lord is blessing Brahma to be something like an Adarsha Darshi Lekhaka, meaning actually everything will be revealed by this penance in his mind, and he will just see it and create like that, in that manner. So that benediction is given, and he will not forget any time Lord's lotus feet. That everywhere he will be able to see the Lord's hand. He will see Supreme Lord. That is being blessed over here by Supreme Lord to Brahma. Mam drashtasi, you will see me. Mai lokanstvam atmana, and also you will see within me all the planets and also all the living entities. You will be able to see. So he is saying. So he had asked for that benediction, no, that when I am doing Srishti, may I not forget your lotus feet. May I not be carried away by just creational activities. So Lord is fulfilling that benediction by telling. First, Brahmaji had asked the benediction of that give me that knowledge. Me drisham manusmrtat, right? So that one he benedicted by the last verse, 30. In 31, he is also giving him that benediction that you will never forget my lotus feet, even though you are creating. That way. Srishti ke avesh mein bhi aap bhologe nahi mujhe kabhi. So that is this verse is saying. Vishwanath Chakravarti, as usual, gives interesting meaning. So to the last line of the verse, last charana, he has given a very specific meaning. That the Lord is saying here that actually in my Krishna Leela, you will see everything in me. Mai lokantvam atmanaha. You will see all the planets, you will see atmanaha. So he is reminding him, meaning Garbhodakshayi Vishnu is declaring to Brahma that Krishna will show him this form of Chaturbhuj, Vishnu's, when he will do the Brahma Vimohan Leela. Not only that, Brahmaji will see himself also in the Supreme Lord. He will see all the planets. In that Brahma Vimohan Leela, Lord manifests all Chaturbhuj Murtis, Vishnu Murtis. So that Atmanaha word, last word of the verse is referring to Chaturbhuj Murtis. That I will show within my form all the forms of Vishnu which are being worshipped by personalities like Brahma and all. So Brahma there could see everybody. He could see Vishnu Murtis, he could see they being worshipped by the demigods, all the planets and all that. So Krishnavatare, in my Krishnavatar, this all will be seen like that. So that also is a specific revelation that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is bringing over here, like that. So just as Yashodama saw in Madhbhakshan Leela, all the jivas and all that, so similarly you will also have such bhakti by which you will be able to see me in all the planets and everywhere. You will never forget my remembrance. You will always have my remembrance. You will never forget my lotus feet. So Prabhupada is addressing those ideas in his purport also. That this is Krishna Avatare. Brahma would be able to see also. All these things. Fine. Yada tu sarva bhuteshu darushvagnim evasthitam Pratichakshitamam loko jahyat tarhyeva kashmalam. Translation.
You will see me in all living entities as well as all over the universe. Just as fire is situated in wood, only in that state of transcendental vision will you be able to be free from all kinds of illusion.
Yeah. Yes. So, Lord guarantees this aspect also, that you will always be able to see me, and you will be able to give up all the kashmala. You remembered he had asked for that benediction also. Yathaham kashmalam jahyad. He asked for that benediction in the verse 23. Yeah, second verse, yes, 23. So that benediction is also being fulfilled. Just as somebody can see the fire in the wood, in many different kinds of wood, but the same quality of fire is there. Similarly, uh, you will also be able to see me everywhere. My way, you will never be influenced by the illusion, kashmalam, like that. So, this verse is talking about Lord guaranteeing that he would avoid all kind of kashmala sin during the creation, like that. Vishwanath Chakravarti says that etadrisham dashayam sambhavet. This will be his status, this will be his situation when he is creating. He will not be affected by all the sin, kashmalam, the creation of adharma, creation of all these undesirable beings and all that, because he will only see the quality of the quality, meaning he will be able to see Supreme Lord's presence in every living entity, and he will accept it as a responsibility that is part of creation, like that. So Prabhupada explains that Darushu Agnimiva Sthitam. Prabhupada says, just as the quality of fire, warmth is everywhere, isn't it? Different kinds of woods are there, but then that quality of fire within them is the same. So same way, he will be able to see Lord's potency, which is manifesting in terms of all many different, many different features of this world. I mean, even within matter, the Lord is there. Even within the spirit, Lord is there. Whether Swarup Shakti or Bhautik, which is Maya Shakti, or like that. Everywhere Lord's presence he will be able to see. He will never forget his relationship with the Lord. He will always remember his lotus feet. Prabhupada says, so that's the purpose of that fire example. Fire kindled in the wood always remains same, but wood may be of different types. So similarly, bodies may be of different types. Different kinds of energies of Supreme Lord may be there, but then that Supreme Lord is present in everything in terms of Paramatma, that he will be able to always remember. So the pure devotee never forgets the touch of Lord in all circumstances. That's the point. Okay, 33. Yada rahitam atmanam bhutendriya gunashayaihi swarupena mayopetam pashyan swarajyam richati.
When you are free from the conception of the gross and subtle bodies, and when your senses are free from all influences of the modes of material nature, you will realize your pure form in the association, in my association. At that time, you will be situated in pure consciousness.
Yeah. So in what condition or in what dasha, in what avastha one is able to achieve the Supreme Lord, that is being spoken over here. Krishna Chakravarti Thakur says the purpose of this verse is to tell about in which stage one person can achieve. Kasyam dashayam tvam paprapnuyat. Meaning when is that one is able to achieve Lord's lotus feet? Meaning when is that one becomes completely free from all contamination and develops love for the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is, Lord Vishnu is also telling that in what position one achieves the Supreme Lord, and Brahma will achieve it. He's giving the benediction. See, both the things are happening. He's telling Brahma the specific benediction that he is receiving, and in that he is also instructing that actually this is the standard. This is how the perfected beings are. So in this sense, the verses are flowing. He is saying that Brahmaji will be like this. Yada rahitam atmanam bhutendriya gunashaye. When a person will be completely free from conception of gross and subtle body, bhutendriya gunashaye. So he is free from conception of gross and subtle body, and he also sees the Supreme Lord Swarupena Mayopetam. He sees Swarup of himself, and he also sees Swarup of Supreme Lord. So then in that state, Swarajyam Mrichati, one will be able to join the Lord in the spiritual kingdom. He will be situated in pure consciousness. So Prabhupada has written a long purport, which is actually based upon Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary completely. So that Swarajyam word is given a very different slant by Vishwanath Chakravarti. He gives a different meaning to that Swarajyam, and that's how whole purport of Prabhupada is based on that Swarajyam. See, Swarajyam usually means what? It means that one's own kingdom, right? That is how you understand Swarajya. So here, Swarajyam is given a different meaning with Swarat. First, it's Swarat. Swarat is the word. So Swarat means that, Svena Bhartrasaha. When a servant is with his master, no, that is known as Swarat. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's meaning. Swarat, meaning Svena Bhartrasaha. खुद के भर्ता के साथ जब दास होता है, जीव होता है, तो उसको स्वराट बोलते हैं, क्योंकि वो चमकता है उसमें. स्वराट में स्वयं राजते इति स्वराट. Those who know Sanskrit know this basic vyutpatti. That is swarat. Swayam rajate, prakashate. That which shines forth is known as swarat. So when does a dasa shine? When does a servant shine? He shines with his master. If he is devoid of master, he doesn't shine. Chakravarti Thakur gives the very specific meaning to Swarajyam. So he says Swarat, and from that Swarat tasya bhavah, that Swaratness is known as Swarajyam, like that. Sometimes to understand some things you have to have some Sanskrit knowledge, like that. Otherwise, one will have some difficulty in capturing how that meaning is coming, like that. So this is Swarat. का भाव जो है वो स्वाराज्यम is coming from that angle, and that is why Prabhupada is putting in purport whole focus on that dasyata, dasya bhava, and he's speaking about swarat. Lord is swarat and jiva is also swarat. He's saying, why that jiva is swarat? That jiva which is in spiritual atmosphere, one who is in along with the association of Lord, he is swarat, not the material world's jiva. He doesn't shine. He only looks gloomy. But Jiva in the association of Lord, he shines. So that is Swarat. Okay. So anyway, Prabhupada focuses on that Dasya aspect. So he begins with Bhakti Samit Sindhu. It is said, person whose only desire is to render transcendental loving service. So that is Iha Yasya Harer Dasya Karmana Manasagira. He's quoting. He is basically referring to that verse. You can see that. So that service attitude is the Swarupa. So actually the Dasyata, that is our real constitutional position. Jiver Swarup hoy Krishna Nitya Das. So he's saying that. So the whole discussion is on that Swarajyam thing, basically. So Mayavadis don't want that Dasyam. So he says that, Prabhupada, just 2 lines later. Mayavad school shudders at the thought of service attitude. But devotees want that service attitude. So when one is able to see that Swarup of himself as a servant of Supreme Lord, free from all conception of gross and subtle body, that is called as Swarajyam Richati. That is when he achieved the spiritual kingdom of the Lord. That is the purpose of this purport. So you see second and third purport Prabhupada is, that's why quoting even that Swarat thing, Lord is Swarat, and how living entities also Swarat, because in spiritual world there is no forced service. He is blissfully situated in the service, like that. Finally, he says in the third para that this verse also applies to the Jnani school. This is also Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's comment only. So Gyanis also can be spoken by this verse because Lord described both the forms, meaning Brahmaji described both the forms, right? Brahmaji spoke about impersonal Brahma and Brahmaji also spoke about Supreme Lord. He offered his obeisances to both. So he spoke about both the features of Lord. So Lord is also telling this verse for both worshippers of both the features, like that. So if it is Jnani, then in that case, Jnani also sees himself free from gross and subtle bodies, free from all the modes. And Swarupena Mayopetam, he sees himself as, as Tvam Padartha, which is non-different than Tat Padartha, which is Brahman. He sees himself non-different than Brahman. And in that case, he achieves the Brahmajyoti, Brahman. So seeing himself as non-different from Brahman, Swarupena Mayopetam, is not offensive. That is a different attitude. A Jnani, Brahmajnani's attitude, where he sees himself as non-different from Brahmajyoti, is not an offensive attitude like a Mayavadi, where he considers Lord only as Maya. But here, basically, this Brahmajnani is more or less udasin towards the Lord. Doesn't have problem with Lord's form. He considers it as Sachidananda, but he considers himself as non-different than Brahman. So such people also achieve Swarajyam, meaning moksha. This moksha is Sayujya, not the regular moksha of devotees. So this way it can also apply to Jnani. Okay, 34. Nana karma vita nena praja bahvi sri sikshatah natma vasidasya asminste varshiyan madanugrahah. Yes.
Since you have decided to increase the population innumerably and expand your varieties of service, you shall never be deprived in this matter, because my causeless mercy upon you will always increase for all time.
Yeah. Yes. So, Lord is telling that in this way I have given you the knowledge of jnana, bhakti, rasa, everything. So that's why my blessings on you will always be there. They will increase for all time. Varshiyan madanugraha. मेरा अनुग्रह वर्षियान मतलब जायान अधिकतर बढ़ता ही जाएगा वो आपके ऊपर कृपा जो है वो like that. Even if you are going to do varieties of service, you will create different kinds of progeny and all, but you remember that by mercy you will never be avasidati, you will never be aggrieved by this matter, you will not be caught up in its complication and all that. So that is going to be my anugraha on you. Never ever you will be bewildered or you will be troubled by the matters of creation and all that. You will, in the matter of creation, you will be able to actually do it effectively because I have inspired you in your heart with all the knowledge of jnana, bhakti, rasa, and everything. This way. So that is the point. Yeah. So Praja Bhahvi Sri Srakshatah, Prabhupada gives interesting meaning. He says that pure devotee, being cognizant of facts of particular time, object, and circumstance, always desires to expand the number of devotees of Lord in various ways. So actually, even Brahmaji's desire, he is saying, is in terms of let us expand this population of devotees of the Lord. Means let them award the opportunity by which they become devotees. So population increase or whatever, this praja that he wants to create and all, his purpose is that, yes, they glorify, they become the devotees of Supreme Lord. That way. Of course, although he's creating demons like Asuran and all those things as part of the overall plan of the Lord, but his desire is that actually everybody becomes the devotee of the Lord. So that is a pure devotee's desire, that he always wants to expand the number of devotees. So that Praja Bhahvi, that is given that particular meaning by Prabhupada. Okay, so yeah, text 35. Rashi madhyam na badnati papiyans tvam rajo gunaha yanma.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You are the original Rishi, and because your mind is always fixed on me, even though you will be engaged in generating various progeny, the vicious mode of passion will never encroach upon you.
Yeah. So Brahmaji's fear was, yes, Rajoguna should not overcome him and he shouldn't become attached. So Bhagavan is giving here the benediction. Rishi Madhyam na badnati. Are you are Adi Rishi, huh? Adi Kavi. So you will not be bound by this Rajoguna. Papiyans tvam Rajoguna. No. Yanmano mai nirbadham praja samsrujate pite. Although you will create even a very vicious kind of praja. But remember that you will never be influenced by them in any way. You will remain fixed on me. Your mind will remain fixed on me. So Prabhupada quotes another reference where Krishna is also given similar benediction to Brahma, and that is from second canto, 9th chapter. That is in the beginning of creation, the first day. That is. So there also, what is that? Etan matam samatishta paramena samadhina bhavan kalpa vikalpeshu na vimuyati karichit. In that verse he is also giving bhavan na vimuyati. There also Lord says that you will not be bewildered, in this. Or the famous na bharati mengam rishopalakshate, that Brahmaji himself also says that, right? So Lord has given, he is also giving here this benediction. Now somebody may say, but Brahmaji does get bewildered, isn't it? So many benedictions are being offered in the Lord, but in the course of creation, does he not get bewildered? Like Brahma Vimohan Leela or like that. See, episodes like he running behind Vak and all that, that is different. That is, we will see that it's coming in the future sessions. That is not after hearing this knowledge. That episode is before. That is not after hearing this knowledge. So that is different story. But even something like Brahma Vimohan Leela, no, but it is completely out of internal potency, right? Brahma Vimohan is not because of Brahmaji's bewilderment. It is completely due to internal potency of the Lord. It's happening with the Leela Shakti. In fact, this fact is not understood, and that's why there are sampradayas who have trouble with that whole Brahma Vimohan Leela only. That chapter of Brahma Vimohan Leela, 13, 14, 12, 13 and 14, these chapters only are not accepted by some sampradayas. I am saying bona fide sampradaya. They don't accept the Bhagavatam's 12, 13, 14 because that Aghasur Leela and that Brahmaji's Vimohan Leela, they feel like it is not correct Siddhanta. How can Brahma get bewildered when he has already received the benediction? So this whole point is analyzed very deeply by Baldev Vidyabhushan in Siddhant Darpan. Why those 12, 13, 14 chapter of Bhagavatam are considered prakshipta, as interpolated by some of the bona fide Vaishnava Sampradayas also. So he analyzes in great detail, what is the problem in those philosophical ideas presented in those chapters and all. So anyway, I just wanted to give that idea that yes, sometimes Brahmaji's Vimohan is a Vimohanam for, even bona fide Sampradayas and all like that sometimes. So that's why these Vimohanas of Brahmaji, like in Brahma Vimohan Leela, they are completely out of Lord's internal potency, Swarup Shakti. It has nothing to do with this Vimohanam due to ignorance or something. Krishna Jiv Goswami have argued very heavily against this to prove this point. Long arguments there, even Jiv Goswami. All the objections with these ideas he raises, like fine. Text 36. Jnatoham bhavatat vyadya durvidnyeyopi dehinam yanmam tvam manyase yuktam bhutendriya gunatmabhi.
Although I am not easily knowable by the conditioned soul, you have known me today because you know that my personality is not constituted of anything material, and specifically not of the 5 gross and 3 subtle elements.
Yeah, so you have known me perfectly. Although I am durvidnyaya, I am very difficult to know, but bhavata, by you, jnataha, I am known very perfectly today. Yan mam tvam manyase ayuktam bhutendriya gunatmabhi. You glorified me by saying that I am not consisting anything of the material form. Nothing, no material elements or senses or like that. Bhutendriya gunatma bhi ayuktam. You said that in your prayers, right? Brahmaji glorified Lord, that how his form is transcendental. Avabodha rasodayena, you remember? Yes, hopefully you remember. First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Padya Panchakam, Jiva Goswami says, first 5 verses have, in that only Brahmaji has established Lord's form very clearly. Avabodha rasodayena shashvan nivritta tamasa. Jnatosi maya tedya suchiran nanudeha bhajam. All that. So he says that those Padya Panchaka, wo 5 verses hai na. Lord is saying, yes, remembering those verses, Krishna is, Lord is saying here that Jnato ham bhavata. Yes, you have understood me very nicely, perfectly. So that's why, yes, Lord is congratulating him, saying that, yes, you have understood me perfectly. Fine. So Prabhupada says also, knowledge of your supreme absolute truth is not negation, but he has the positive form, like that. So the same points that he has spoken before also. Tubhyam madvichikissayam atma me darshito bahihi nalena salile moolam pushkarasya vichinvatah. Yes, read.
When you were contemplating whether there was a source, so the stem of the lotus of your birth, and you even entered into that stem, you could not trace out anything, but at that time I manifested my form from within.
So when Brahmaji was doing that Vichikissa, he was trying to know what is the source of his lotus that he's sitting on, and he couldn't see anything. He could practically, he couldn't see anything, no planets, nothing, no living being. He couldn't see Garbhodakshai Vishnu also. He only saw that lotus stem is coming out and he's sitting on the lotus stem. So through that lotus stem, he even went down to the Garbhodak ocean also and tried to understand, but then he couldn't see. But then within his heart, Lord gave him that, inspiration to then, sit for tapasya, and by that he could understand the Supreme Lord. So, point is, at that time I manifested my form within, meaning that inspiration for Brahmaji to be able to meditate, and then in that way, by his penance and austerity, Lord actually manifested himself within his samadhi. So that is all by my mercy only, Lord is saying. You getting inspired to do that austerity, and then by that I manifested my form in your heart, in your samadhi. That is all by my mercy. Don't think it is by penance or austerity that we please Lord. No. Finally, it is his own mercy. Yes, you can attract mercy by your sincere desire, but it is his mercy. Without his mercy, what can be accomplished? Nothing actually. He can only be revealed by his causeless mercy. So, yes, no penance, austerity, nothing can inspire him to reveal himself. By bhakti, that is his nature, that he is he's melted, and he then reveals himself to a devotee in that sense. So that is what he is saying. Vishwanath Chakravarti gives a different meaning to the whole verse, but anyway, I'll not go into that. So Prabhupada says, Brahma's personal endeavor to see the root of the lotus pipe failed, but when the Lord was satisfied by his penance and devotion, the Lord revealed himself. Yes. So Lord inspired him and also revealed himself him after penance, like that. Okay. 38. Yachchakarthanga mat stotram mat kathabhyudayankitam yadva tapasite nishtha saesha madanugraha. Yes.
O Brahma, the prayers that you have chanted praising the glories of my transcendental activities, the penances you have undertaken to understand me, and your firm faith in me, all these are to be considered my causeless mercy.
Yeah. So see, whatever austerities that you performed, mat stotram chakartha. Okay, austerity is done. Now he's talking about mat stotram. Okay, whatever prayers you offered, which mad katha bhyudayankitam, which has the glories of my My glories, my Nam Rup Gunas, glories are there in that. So those prayers which you offered, they were also Madanugraha. That was also my Anugraha only. Tapasite Nishtha, all that faith, the penances that you undertook, and you did, that 100 years you did solid penance. Whatever you will do in the future, everything is my Anugraha on you. Saesha Madanugraha. So everything you could accomplish only by my mercy. And that is the point that Lord is saying over here. Prabhupada says, when a living entity desires to serve the Lord in transcendental loving service, the Lord helps the devotee in so many ways. As the Chaitya Guru, spiritual master, devotees, isn't it? Actually, by mercy of Lord, even a layman can compose prayers of highest spiritual perfection. We see that in the case of Dhruva. Dhruva, there Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says clearly that although Dhruva was not learned in Gurukula, he hadn't been to Gurukula, and he hadn't learned any grammar or anything, but when Lord touched that conch shell on his head, Kambuna Brahma Mayena Kasparsha, when Lord, that Kambu, that Shankh of Lord, it touched Kapolam, it touched the head of Dhruva, then immediately such prayers, Yontah Pravishya Mama Vachamidam Imam Prasuptam Sanjiva Yatya, all that prayers which he says. So actually, such is the mercy of the Lord that even if you want to glorify Him, even the prayers, even the intelligence, power, everything He is ready to give. All that He wants a sincere desire to serve Him. If one has that, He is ready to offer everything, all skills, all talents. We may be fools, might not be very intelligent or whatever, but Krishna is ready to bestow everything if we have sincere desire to glorify Him. Right? And we see so many devotees, right, in their lives also, that they were bestowed such empowerment by Supreme Lord, although they were not qualified. The point is that Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mamapayanti. Krishna will offer everything that is needed. Only we just have to have faith in His words and sincere desire to please Him. Fine. Prito hamastu bhadrante lokanam vijayechaya yadastaushir gunamayam nirgunam manu varnayan. Yes.
I am very much pleased by your description of me in terms of my transcendental qualities, which appear mundane to the mundaners. I grant you all benedictions in your desire to glorify all the planets by your activities.
So, I am very much pleased with you. Pritoham, Lokanam Vijayechaya. I give you all the benediction by which you will be able to create everything. Lokanam Vijayechaya is again that meaning similar, that all his efforts for the creation, they are not defeated. He is successful in all his efforts of creating the planets. And I am very much pleased by your Yadastaushit Gunamayam Nirgunam Manu Varnayan. आपने जो मेरा वर्णन किया ना, निर्गुणा और गुणमय दोनों, by that I am extremely pleased. Brahmaji's prayers are extremely pleasing to the Supreme Lord, like that. For us, they might be tiring, at least for me, they might be tiring, but Lord is very happy to hear those prayers, and very beautiful. Gunamayam, Nirgunam, everything, whatever he described. Beautifully, he spoke about Lord's form and bhakti, comparing with impersonalism, offering obeisances to different features, and getting particular benedictions. So nice, full of meaning prayers. So Lord says that I am very happy by that praise that you offered to me, calling me as Gunamaya and also as Nirguna. Both the aspects were glorified by Brahmaji. Of course, here Gunamaya means he has transcendental qualities, and Nirguna means he doesn't have material qualities. So that is the primary meaning that is there in these words, like that. So Prabhupada says, pure devotee like Brahma and his disciplic succession, the devotees, they always desire that Lord be known in the universe by each and every living entity. The desire of the devotee is always blessed by the Lord. So that is Prabhupada's meaning of Lokanam Vijayechaya. They desire that Lord is known to everybody in this world, and that's why they want to preach, they want to share the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. That, of course, this preaching means at all levels. There is preaching to the newcomers, and there is preaching to the old, and there is preaching so that the existing ones also they remain nourished. So that is all called, everything is preaching actually. Any sharing of Krishna Katha at different levels, that is preaching that way. Because we want to protect all sorts of devotees. We want to make devotees, and we also want to sustain devotees that way. So devotees want to glorify Krishna and spread his glories everywhere. That is the point. Like that. And the prayers of impersonalists, sometimes they also glorify the Supreme Lord, but they consider Supreme Lord as typical in the goodness, in the sense of they are for moksha and all such purposes. So Lord is not very happy with those prayers. Not so much happy like devotees. Okay, but devotees' prayers are actually for just glorifying the Lord and pleasing Him. Fine. Falashruti. Yayetena puman nityam stutva stotrena mam bhajet tasyashu samprasideyam sarvakama vareshwarah.
Any human being who prays like Brahma and who thus worship me shall very soon be blessed with the fulfillment of all his desires, for I am the Lord of all benediction.
Yes. So whoever glorifies the Lord by these beautiful prayers, एतेन स्तोत्रेण माम भजेत, इस स्तोत्र के द्वारा जो मेरा भजन करता है, one who recites these prayers, tasya ashu samprasideyam, I become extremely pleased with him and offer him all the benedictions. And what are the benedictions that a devotee wants, right? He wants the benediction of firm attachment to his lotus feet. So Lord fulfills those benedictions like that. So point is that these stotras, these prayers of Bhagavatam, they can award all sorts of benedictions, but a wants the benediction by Lord. That is what he is saying. Sarva Kama Vareshwara. Like that. In fact, Prabhupada says, Lord certainly fulfills all desires in regard to transcendental loving service, but he does not fulfill the whims of non-devotees. Even when such casual devotees offer him best of prayers. So Prabhupada additionally says this point that certain verses and all, they offer some material falashruti also. But Prabhupada is saying that that is also finally up to discretion of Krishna. In the prayers where some material benedictions are offered, yes, Krishna may offer them also, but then finally it is his will. Krishna, as such, he doesn't have any botheration, he doesn't have to be obliged by a non-devotee to fulfill their whimsical desires like that. So that is his choice always. But a devotee's prayers are anyway for the pure purpose of pleasing Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all the spiritual desires will be fulfilled by the Supreme Lord. Fine. Purtena tapasa yajner dane yoga samadhina radham nishreyasam pumsam mat priti tattva vinmatam.
It is the opinion of the expert transcendentalist that the ultimate goal of performing all traditional good works, penances, sacrifices, charities, mystic activities, trances, etc., is to invoke my satisfaction.
Yeah, so very clearly, all purta, traditional good work, social activities, digging the wells, this, that, all purta, tapasya, yajna, dan, yog, samadhi, everywhere, whatever, there is the final object to be achieved. That is mat pritihi, pleasing Krishna, my satisfaction, like that. Samsiddhir haritoshanam, that's what is Lord saying very clearly. By whatever activities one is trying to achieve the goal, the highest goal, radham nishreyasam. निश्रेयस क्या है? प्रेयस नहीं, श्रेयस, उसमें भी क्या? निश्रेयस, निशेषेण, complete, highest benediction, highest benefit. That is mat pritihi. That is actually satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. This is the mat of Tattvavit. This is the mat. This is the opinion of those who are expert transcendentalists, like that. So whatever in this world, people want to try to do so many things, but they should know that if it is not pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then Shrama eva hi kevalam. That is the point. So Prabhupada gives example of Arjuna. He fought the battle and pleased the Krishna. So in any duty, everything, whatever, the criterion final is whether Lord is pleased or not. This way. Ahamatmatmanam dhata prishta sanpreyasam api atomai ratim kurya dehadiriyat prite priyah. Yes. Please read.
I am the super soul of every individual. I am the supreme director and the dearest. People are wrongly attached to gross and subtle bodies, but they should be attached to me only.
So, actually, verse is said in an interesting way. Ato mai ratim kuryat. Actually, mujhme hi rati karni chahiye. This is something called as vidhiling in Sanskrit. Kuryat. भगवान कह रहे इसलिए सबको मुझ में ही रति करनी चाहिए. मतलब actually everybody should be attached to me only. Like that. Because I am only the super soul and I am the dearest of the dear. Like that. So, because of me only, whatever in this world person is loving to somebody else, he is loving because the spirit soul is there in his heart. That's why he is loving. If spirit soul goes away, will somebody love that body? One is scared of that body, right? So, as long as spirit soul is there, then person is loving his wife, children, his that, relatives, whatever. So, point is that Jivatma, he is also Amsha of whom? Paramatma. So actually Paramatma's Amsha is Jivatma, and because Jivatma is there, person loves the body. So that's why Krishna, I mean here Lord is saying that actually that's why I am only the dearest object of all. Everybody should love me and offer their love, affection for me. So it is a recommendation. It is not like Lord is putting living entities on gunpoint and saying, love me. Love is not forced. Love is voluntary. But he is giving a loving imploration, saying that actually that is the perfection of all love. You are trying to love these living entities of this world and all. But if you don't have love for me, even that love is meaningless. Keeping Krishna in the center, then those other kinds of love also will have some meaning. So that is his point. So Prabhupada has based his entire commentary on Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's point, where he analyzes this point of how dearmost object is Krishna only, because everybody loves other jivas as long as spirit soul is there, and spirit soul is the part and parcel of Krishna. Spirit soul is actually the real loving, supreme beloved object of spirit soul is Krishna, is Paramatma, you can say. So that's why everybody should have Supreme Lord only as the dearmost object. Prabhupada says that in first paragraph. This is basically the theme that he is saying, like that. So Prabhupada towards the end, he says that Kuryat also he is explaining in the second para. One must have it. So that is not like forced, but it is to stress the point that this principle of love, more and more attachment to the Supreme Lord, this is what is actual perfection of that love. So Krishna is telling in a loving, enlightening manner that actually the real love's expression is when you love me and in connection to me, love all the living entities in this way, like that. So then Prabhupada compares Mayavadi philosophers who don't have that love for Krishna. So that's why Lord also doesn't what to speak of Mayavadi philosophers? I mean, they are offensive to Krishna. Even for that matter, those who are Brahman's worshippers. So they don't have that kind of reciprocal thing because they don't have love for Brahman. They see Brahman as Chidrup. They see Brahman as object of their meditation. But that love aspect is only there with a personality. So that's why that aspect is missing over there. Finally, he gives example of sun and the eyes. Just as sun might be pleasing to some personalities, but might not be pleasing to some. So similarly, those who there are personalities who devotees who are much pleased by Lord's reciprocation, while jnanis and such personalities they are indifferent to the Lord. And personalities like Mayavadis, they are inimical, they are offensive towards the Lord. So that same sun is there, but its effect on different living entities in different manner. So same way, he is also saying that just as how Jiva sees the Supreme Lord based on that, although Lord is ready to invite everybody to love him, but then they have different reciprocations. So fine, last two verses. Sarva Vedamayena Atmanatmatma Yonina Prajahasraja Yatha Purvam Yaschamayannu Sherate.
By following my
instructions. Last two verses.
By following my instructions, you can now generate the living entities as before. By dint of your complete Vedic wisdom and the body you have directly received from me, the supreme cause of everything.
Yeah, so please, Srija, please create Prajaha Yatha Purvam. So you can create now Praja Yatha Purvam. I mean, after doing that penance, and create that Praja which will, follow my instructions, which will try to become my devotees. So you will be blessed with all knowledge of Vedic wisdom and also body which is directly received from me. Atmanatmatma Yonina. That is the meaning that he has received body from Supreme Lord. Last verse. Maitreya Uvacha Tasma eva jagat evam jagat srishte pradhana purusheshwara vyajyedam svena rupena kanjanabhastirodhade.
The sage Maitreya said, after instructing Brahma, the creator of the universe, to expand the primeval Lord, the personality of Godhead in his personal form as Narayan, disappeared.
Yeah, so Kanjanabha Tirodadhe, that form of the Supreme Lord, glancing on him and speaking, that disappeared from Brahma's vision. Like that, after speaking Vyajayidam in this manner, instructing him, he disappeared like that. So he received the instructions and to do the penances, and with that, the necessary, all the wisdom and all his benedictions are also granted by Lord's sweet words like that. So then Brahmaji continues now the action of creation like that. So thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of 3rd canto, 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy. Okay, so that is the end of this chapter. So we stop here. So we will stop here in case there are any questions. So you may send me on my mail. My mail ID is changed in case you don't know. It is knkd.rnsm@gmail.com. Just putting. Okay, sorry. It is RNSM. I didn't say right. So you may write there because. Surely took more time than what I expected, but I think at least some amount of justice is done to all the verse and purport and everything, hopefully. And the rest of the chapters are also not like so elaborately commented. So, I took some liberty to take this in detail. So hopefully that served some purpose. Hare Krishna. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.